They want more. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every crew. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep.
All right, check it out. We back again. Oh my goodness, I mean, it's not going anywhere. We know where it's going. It is going somewhere, but we know the train is going to go slow. The train's got to go slow so that we can keep Trump in the race, y'all. You know, and not really Trump in the race, but so all the Republicans that protected Trump all this time don't look like goddamn assholes. Don't look like pedophile protectors. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of in my mind that's going on, because these Epstein files are going out. They're going out. The question is, how long is it going to take them, and who can take cover and prepare their out road before they finally come out? Because you know, whoever is in those files, this is why I call it protecting. You know, pedophiles do not, Pedo-Files do not release Epstein files. They do not. And the reason why is simple, because they have to plan their out road first. You know, if you got your life all built, inside of that, your money, your business contacts, what you've been doing, your dastardly deeds, then obviously before the public knows about it, you will want to shift around funds. And do you think the DOJ is doing anything about that right now? They're not talking about it. They're not looking for anything in the Epstein files. They're not looking for anybody that's in there right now. Actually, the only person they seem to acknowledge now is Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, it's crazy. They want to get a deposition from her. Okay. But what about everyone else? What about the evidence? What about the forensic analysis? Screw a deposition. What do you expect? People that have been involved in some of the worst crimes, possibly, obviously pedophilia we're talking about, which is, and sex slavery, slavery, essentially, enslaving people, denying them their human rights, their civil rights, right? Pimping them out, making them have sex with other people, right? Then espionage. Do you think anybody involved with that, blackmail, do you think anyone involved with that would want the files coming out anytime soon? No, they would want to plot. They would want to move their money out of the country, their property, put it in someone else's hands. You see what I mean? Before these files get released. Because when these files get released, number one, the American people are going to be pissed. Number two, they're going to want retribution. Right? These people know that. That's just common sense, and I know that there's some political analysis, folks that have serious backgrounds in law, in crime, in, investigations and all of this stuff. But let's just keep one thing in mind. All the people in the world with their expertise in laws and crime couldn't stop Trump from becoming president after he was already exposed for huge crimes anyway. What happened to those experts then? You see what I mean? And we need to be frank with the American people and keep it real. But American people don't need to be led around by anybody. Now, the American people need to get the files. Then we know what to do, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. You could call it the law, or you could just call it revenge. You could call it whatever you want, but release the files, and it doesn't seem like these cats are doing too well with releasing these damn files. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's something they want to do, but let's see what.
I mean, obviously we've seen conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule because of fear of Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No, hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear here. No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on. The Biden...
No, there's no fear. There's just stalling. It's just stalling. It's just stalling. They're going to slow it down as long as... I mean, if there was fear, would they go out on TV and say, hey, man, we scared, y'all. We scared. Mike Johnson, would he say, we're scared? You know, we're scared, y'all. We're fearful for what's in those files. We're fearful that you're going to find out who we are. Nah, man. This dude's ass is on the line right here. His ass is on the line, literally. His career, his job. He has been made a fool. Everyone in the administration has been made a damn fool. But they were made fools by themselves. They made themselves because of what they do, their dastardly deeds, their corruption. These people are beyond reproach. You know, when you have a dude standing there who's used to getting up and lying in your face every day, and then he even laughs at you too while he does it a little bit. He talks a little straight and then he and then keeps talking and basically saying you ain't getting shit.
I mean, obviously we've seen the conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule.
You see that?
Because of fear of Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No.
No. I'm going to keep a straight face. I have no fear.
Hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear.
And then he smiles. You know, because guess what? Because he knows the American people are the joke. This is a joking matter to him. Look at this. This is just a goddamn game. You don't know if there's likely hundreds. There's likely 100 or hundreds. We don't know. Of innocent victims in these files, right? Off the bat. If you don't release them, how many would you know or mention or suspected, right? Because they can only charge the ones that come forward, the ones that feel free enough to speak. They can only do charges based on those things. But the thing is that what about the ones that aren't willing to move forward with anything? What about the ones that are scared? What about the ones that say something and then retract the story because of threats and things like this? So a lot of stuff none of this stuff has even been prosecuted, really. Not really. Not the way you would think it would be, since there's all this stuff inside of it, right? And this dude, the best he has for the American people is that smile. You gonna have this job? I mean, think about how many other people could have this job, and yet they have this clown doing it, who he's used to being there year after year. He's got his pension. You know, kids may even have their school covered, health care covered, all of this stuff, right? Off of the taxpayers' backs. And this guy is smiling. He doesn't give a damn. He pretty much knows you ain't going to do nothing about it. You've never done anything about it. And this is how we've always behaved, because the American people never do nothing about this. That's what he's smiling about. I can lie to you again.
No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on. The Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have brought a discharge petition at any point in the last 4 years.
So what you going to do about it now? Stop it and slow it down now that somebody does? You're just going to stop it? Like, no. Now that you've done it, you waited 4 years, and now that you want to do it, we're going to do the opposite. We don't want to release it. Now that you want to release it, we don't want to release it. But we could have released it before you even had it, because we were the ones that indicted Epstein. We could have done that if we thought there was espionage, which we looked through there, if we thought there was anything else going on, if we thought the Clintons were involved. Why weren't the Clintons exposed through the Epstein files when Epstein was arrested? Why weren't they exposed? Why weren't all the other people exposed when they made charges against Epstein? Why do you think that is? How about that question? Is it because you don't really have shit on Clinton? Is that why you didn't do anything about it before? To me, it seems very simple. If Trump administration came across anything with Clinton's name on it that shows that he's committed a crime, or even not committed a crime, just shows that he's acted in poor taste, it would be released already. They would have spoke about it already. Trump would have done that in his first administration, but he didn't do it. He didn't even say it after. He just talked around the issue. You know, there's either something there or there's nothing there, but you can't have it both ways. Trump argues that, my name is in there all these times, but there's nothing there at all. But then he goes and tells you someone else's name that's mentioned once. There's something there. There's something there. There must be something there. I mean, that's how this thing is
Chose
playing
not
out.
to. They waited until President Trump was elected. I think that's very suspect. And I will not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not gonna do it.
I mean, obviously, we've seen
Political gamesmanship. Like it's a game. Like it's a game. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. You know, I mean, I do understand it, but I don't understand how poorly he can make these arguments in front of the world, in front of the American people. Screw the world, in front of the American people. I mean, this is the best this dude got. This is the best he's got. You know, it's shameful.
the conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule because of fear of Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No, hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear here. No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on. The Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have brought it.
Notice how he's got to bring up the Biden administration. It's just got to be the reason why we don't do something. You know, look at this. Think about this one with Trump. Natural disaster on the way to your town. It's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. Now, President Trump, why didn't you release the disaster funds? Well, the Democrats before didn't. That's the best they got. Always the Democrats. The Democrats. It doesn't even matter to the constituency that's listening to him. Even if you show them that the Democrats didn't, or the Democrats did release disaster fund immediately, these people never hold them accountable for nothing. And that's where we're at with this. This is how we got to this part of the program. Let me see something real quick. All right, let me let this play a little bit. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. 2 seconds, y'all. I gotta make sure something is working on the stream correctly. Sorry about that. Here we go. Come on. Check. Is it there? 2 seconds.
The recipe, people subdue.
I'll be right back. 2 seconds, y'all.
Trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day, and every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers.
All right, check it out. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah, now we back again. Are we back again? Hold on, 2 seconds. Oh my God, 2 seconds.
A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack, and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. All they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack, and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute, you might hear, but they won't, cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capital.
All right, check it. I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. Here we go. Yes. Now, the shenanigans are here. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how many of you all think that the Epstein files are going to be released before the midterm elections. And what do you think the drag out is? How long do you think they can drag out this dynamic? How long do y'all think? I mean, can they drag it out until after the midterms? Can they drag it out that far? Can they drag it out for 4 years? Do you think they can drag it out for 4 years? I mean, I'm curious about that myself. But I'm more curious about what the people think. I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think it can drag out that long? I mean, and how do you feel about this? Do you feel that this stuff should just be released, or are you one of the folks that think that, nah, it's okay, don't release it now, don't release it, we don't need it released, we need to look at everything else first, right? Any other thing that's possibly out there that we could get to before we look at the actual files? That's what I'm curious about, because it's obvious. I mean, it's obvious there's a lot of folks want the files, because people have been saying that in the demonstrations. You saw people with signs that are like, release the Epstein files. I mean, we saw that they've been saying that the whole time. MAGA has been saying that the whole time, the whole election cycle. I mean, for 4 years, ever since Biden got out of power, release the Epstein files, even while he was in. I mean, they've been saying this shit for 10 years, basically. 10 years, when they locked up Epstein, and they thought, okay, we're on to something. Let's lock up Epstein. Great. Action. We see action. And he dies in prison. Then no action. Then Biden comes in, follows up, takes action on, his partner. I don't know how long why that had to take so long. And who concocted in the Trump administration how they would be charged? Like, you hear them always saying there's no co-conspirators. I wasn't a co-conspirator. Or they crafted this language. I mean, we need to look into that to figure out, why did they craft that language? I mean, what were they thinking they could do when they crafted this language about no co-conspirators or co-conspirators, or this old agreement is supposed to apply to her in Florida that says she could never be indicted with Epstein, or something like, just along these lines. I'm paraphrasing, right? I mean, ultimately, to me, this shit don't matter. None of it matters. It's all phony to me. It's all phony. A waste of the taxpayer dollars. Something taxpayers pay for. Your taxes right now aren't going to healthcare. Your taxes right now, they're not going to disaster aid. Your taxes right now aren't going to your schools that are about to open up this fall, after school programs, all of this stuff that, families need. It's not going to child care. It's not going to elder care. Your tax dollars right now is going to fighting the release of the Epstein files. I mean, and this is, in my view, if that's what you pay for, that's what you pay for. If that's what you're saying. I'm not really saying it, but I mean, it seems like there's a lot of people that seem to think this is what they want to do. And I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see.
That bombshell Wall Street Journal reporting that the Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. The White House denies the...
So May, he was told. Now, the White House denies it, but how can you deny something your own DOJ says?
Reporting. Before that story broke, Politico reported Trump was furious and frustrated by the all-consuming Epstein coverage. Allies reportedly describing the mood inside the administration as, quote, haunted.
Haunted. I would be that too. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to deny that too? Nobody on the inside said it's haunted. Would it be haunted if this was you? Would you be haunted, or would you just be business as usual? Business as usual. I mean, if I was Trump, I would. Haunted must be, I don't know. It's a pretty good word, but I'm sure there's more vile things. There's more extreme words that could be chosen. I think dude is having a breakdown. I think he's losing his mind. This guy has got to be crawling on his knees, running around like just desperate to find anything, something that can stop this. Like he can't look in the mirror.
One person saying, quote, "It's the first time I've seen them sort of paralyzed." Trump losing the ability to dominate the narrative.
It's the first time I've seen them sort of paralyzed. Trump has lost the ability to dominate the narrative. Oh yeah, he's definitely lost the ability to dominate the narrative. I mean, his magic Biden wand, his magic Obama wand, his magic Hillary wand has worn off because he's in power and is not trying to expose them. He doesn't want the people to see how they fit into the Epstein files. He doesn't want that. He wants to do anything else. Maybe craft a story. Craft a story first. Let's go indict Hillary for the Epstein files. Let's indict her. Let's find a way to indict her. Then we can request the grand jury files, closed session files on that, and have that refused by a judge. Let's just do that first. Let's go around the circle. Let's go walk around the circus and play everybody like they're circus clowns, essentially.
As Politico puts it, a White House ally saying, quote, "They're the ones that opened the can of worms on the Epstein conversation. No one made them do this," which makes it sting even worse. Today, newly surfaced 2023 comments from FBI Director Kash Patel underscore how Trump allies helped fuel all of this.
I'm sorry, but I'm loving this. I'm loving this shit. I'm loving it. These dudes scammed their way to the White House. Look at this dude's face. Look at his face. He gonna look you right in the eyes and lie to your face because he believes you dumb. He doesn't respect you, MAGA people. He doesn't respect, and you guys picked him. I mean, which kind of proves you're not racist, outright racist like that, because you did pick a brown person, an immigrant, a person whose family are immigrants, right? So you're not really always bigoted. So that's interesting. I think that's really, really cool. You chose him because he was saying what you wanted to hear, right? And because he was saying what you wanted to hear, you accepted him. But if he wasn't saying what you wanted to hear, you would be going the exact opposite direction. But here's the case with Kash Patel. He seems to be a person that knows how you think. And so, therefore, is going to say what you want to hear, look you in the face. I mean, this is not cool either. This is not cool either. Just because he did that to MAGA folk doesn't mean I think that's cool. I think that's bullshit. I think if you got a view, an opinion, put your opinion out there. Let people know how you feel. Don't fake people out and stand on your own principles. Kash Patel, if you are against these people, then why didn't you just say so in the beginning and fight your fight? Don't stand with them pretending like it. Don't try to be an opportunist to get whatever you can get out of them, because that's also whack. Being a racist is not the only whack thing. Being an opportunist is a whack thing too. That's also whack. That's equally whack. That's bullshit. You see what I mean? So this guy, he's I don't even know which one I hate more, a racist or a person that's just an opportunist. Because an opportunist stings. They say whatever they need to say to get what they need to get. And then, boom, they play you publicly. But in any case.
Thing with Epstein's list, it's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale?
Let me hear that again. Sorry, let me hear that one more time.
The same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Joining me now is Michael Cohen.
And how simple is it now? I bet you he got one of those abba moments and shit. He does got to explain. Remember when you said it was like that before? Now, what do you think? I mean, you know, well, I was oversimplifying it at that time. You know, since it's worth people knowing that since then we have uncovered more things that change, you know, and we want to protect the American people, protect the victims, blah, blah, blah.
Cohen, host of the Substack channel at The Real Michael Cohen and the Mea Culpa podcast. He was, of course, Trump's former lawyer. He knows the guy well, but he's now a leading critic. He entered Trump's orbit after Trump's fallout with Epstein, so Cohen did not personally witness their interactions. But he writes this about the Epstein files in his Substack, quote, "You can't redact a reckoning. If Trump is named, if any public official is named, the files must show it." Michael Cohen, thanks for being back on with me. Good to see you. So
they even got reports now. I think Michael Cohen's daughter is out there speaking now, saying that Trump made some rude comments about her to Michael Cohen. Something like, that's a nice piece of, I'm paraphrasing, something like that's a nice piece of, you know. I mean, he talked, I believe this is what's happening right now in the news cycle. But so look out for that one.
Well, I guess you just said it there. The files must show it. Now we have this new reporting from the Wall Street Journal. Does this change the calculus for you as this story unfolds?
No, it doesn't. Because, like I said on your show during...
I like Michael Cohen's approach to this because he's just trying to be fair about it. He makes a good point here where he's basically saying, look, why should it matter whose side you're on or what you believe? Everyone should want the files released. You shouldn't want the files released because you think there's someone in there that you don't like. That shouldn't be your reason, because you should also want to release it so you can defend people. You see what I mean? Like, so that you can be, so that folks can know, so you can be, exonerated essentially if you've been accused of it. So if Trump isn't in these files, you should want to know. You should want to know that Trump didn't do anything bad. Even though he's in these files, he didn't do anything bad. So release the files. You should be taking that approach. But there's a lot of people that only want to see these files when there's someone that they hate that's inside of it. And I think more Americans need to go this route. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Republicans for a whole nother set of things. They lack spines. They're corrupt, unethical. Right? I mean, they don't stand for the people, for healthcare, education. They don't stand for disaster relief. They don't stand up for the American people. They're corrupt. That's why I don't like them. This thing about pedophiles, yeah, that also shouldn't exist. This thing about extortion, this thing about sex slaves, sex rings, and human trafficking rings, that shouldn't exist either. But that shouldn't exist on any side of the aisle. That's what kind of person I am. Even though I voted for Kamala Harris, I'm not going to accept that shit from nobody named Kamala Harris. I wouldn't accept that shit. So why would you accept it from Trump? I really think these Republicans got a way of talking down and gaslighting their constituency so much that they have learned to ask for nothing, little, next to nothing at all from their politicians, But
the weekend, nice to have you here instead of Ari. Like I said on your show in the weekend, conspiracy theorists will never be satisfied. Meaning, no matter what is said, if you are a Trump supporter, it's all nonsense. If you are a Trump detractor, oh, Trump is guilty, he's guilty. I don't ascribe to either of those. Why? Because there's a file sitting on Pam Bondi's desk, the one that Kash Patel was just talking about, the one that we've all been talking about. There is a file of documents that have been put together by law enforcement agents for a multiple year investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. I don't want to start guessing. I don't want hypothesis. I don't want people's opinion. I want to see the facts. I want to see the documents. What if hypothetically he's named, but he's named in something that's innocuous, not criminal, not part of what Jeffrey Epstein is known for? Now, on the controversy side, what if hypothetically he's not? What if he's named in a negative manner? I don't want to guess which one. Because, again, if you like him, you go one way. If you don't, you go the other way. I just want to see the documents. They should release the file. And if the president wants to know what they need to do in order to put an end to this endless conversation about Jeffrey Epstein, release the file.
Well, they must know that. And there's a reason why they haven't.
You see, you're doing
choice.
exactly what I just said, right? You're coming up with an innuendo as to, or an opinion as to, well,
I don't have an opinion.
There
are very valid reasons, because there are victims and survivors who are at the center of this story. We know that there is imagery of child pornography involved. So there's certainly no scenario in which 100% transparency is humanely possible.
Now, and sources tell
100%. And these victims should not be exposed to more harm and pain than they've already gone through. But you can redact it.
But here's the thing, though. You know, you just spelled out what option they have to make people feel that there's more transparency here. But what we're learning in this reporting, right, is that in May, Bondi and her deputy informed the president at this meeting that his name was in the files. But then last week, when asked by a reporter, has Bondi by any chance told you your name's in the files? He lied.
Yeah, listen, is that the first time? Is that the first time that he ever did? But there's a scenario, right, where
they could have said, well, you know, like, yes, they were friends at one point, so his name's in there, but it's not anything, you know, untoward.
And if I was there by his side, that's... you see, you're doing exactly what I just said, right? You're coming up with an innuendo as to, or an opinion as to, well...
I don't have an opinion.
There
are very valid reasons, because there are victims and survivors who are at the center of this story. We know that there is imagery of child pornography involved. So there's certainly no scenario in which 100% transparency is humanely possible here.
100%. And these victims should not be exposed to more harm and pain than they've already gone through. But you can redact it.
But here's the thing, though. You know, you just spelled out what option they have to make people feel that there's more transparency here. But what we're learning in this reporting, right, is that in May, Bondi and her deputy informed the president at this meeting that his name was in the files. But then last week, when asked by a reporter,
Now, how do people explain that away? You know, how does anyone not just say Trump lied? You know, and we've gotten to this point where we've given excuses over and over and over and over and over for lying. That's how low Trump has brought all the processes in the country, just down to mediocre, you know, complete mediocrity. You know, a person can go out. Now, think about this. Like, if you get charged, the average person gets charged, and you go in front of a court and you lie to the judge, that when they find out, the judge is not going to say, oh, he lied, or the prosecutor's not going to say he lied, but, you know, he's obviously a good person. You shouldn't, you know, let's let it be. You know, it was just a mistake one time. I mean, Trump does this all the time, to the point where we're talking about a decade later, 5 years, 6 years later, 7 years later. And we're still allowing this man to go out to the public and lie from the podium. And then everyone else is just supposed to go along with this. Like, it's gotten so normalized. It's destroying everything. It's destroying everything. And if you should so happen to be charged or accused of something, you will not get the same treatment. You will get thrown under the bus. You will get stomped on, set on fire. You shot, anything. I mean, that's how they're treating other people that do nothing. Death threats, all types of stuff. That's how they're treating judges, congressional members that don't go along with the party, senators that don't go along with the party, even the even the head of the FBI and a special counsel put on Trump's tape was getting death threats. You see what I mean? For less, for nothing, just following the law. And then here we are, everybody else. In contrast, when we have to watch Trump, we have to watch the man who just openly lies and is never held to be accountable for anything. And he was right. He could go out in Times Square, shoot somebody in the head, and go back in, and no one would say nothing about it.
Bondi, by any chance, told you your name's in the files. He lied.
Yeah, listen, is that the first time? Is that the first time that he ever did?
Right, where they could have said, Well, you know, like, yes, they were friends at one point, so his name's in there, but it's not anything, you know, untoward.
And if I was there by his side, that's the answer I would have told him to say.
So he's just getting bad advice because you're not there now.
Probably, but horrible advice because, again, all it's doing is fueling the conversation. They are their own worst enemies right now. They are the ones that are fueling this conversation. They like to turn around and say, oh, it's the Democrats, as you showed in your teaser. This has been something for years now that Republicans have been on the attack, that this is all about some elite Democratic cabal of child sex traffickers and pedophiles. No, that's not what it is. And now they have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
Okay, so.
I mean, well, how do we know what it is? How do we know what it is? But I think the point he's trying to make is that they're now saying themselves that it's not that. They're the ones calling it a hoax now. They're the ones saying, oh, no, this was all created by Obama. Where's the Obama wand, Dad? Y'all, let me pick it up. The Obama wand. See, here's the wand. Everybody, see, you can't see. You didn't see what you thought you saw. Men in Black. You didn't see anything. You are hypnotized now. I mean, this is crazy.
Take us inside the head of Donald Trump. What's he thinking right now?
Well, I'm sure he's angry because he wants this to go away. There are more important things that he wants to talk about. More important to him, may not be important to us, but there are
You
more.
mean like the MLK files and
Sure.
baseless allegations
or the
against
big
Obama.
beautiful bill, or the tariff win that he just claims that we got over, Japan and so on. There are things he wants to talk about. But I will tell you what MAGA Mike Johnson just delivered for the president by now releasing the House on an early summer vacation. By the way, at our expense, the taxpayers.
Right.
At the taxpayers' expense. MAGA Mike Johnson, he gonna look you in the eye, withhold the Epstein files, pretend like he didn't just say a week ago that it's got to be released. Then he's gonna do what? Spend more of the taxpayer money. MAGA Mike Johnson is what I call a congressional welfare recipient. The American people that go out and work every day, all kinds of jobs. Your kids might be paying for their, on their first job and paying for this clown to act that way. He's going to go out there and spend your money doing nada, just covering shit up. And he's going to look you in the face for the umpteenth time and give you an excuse why he's not going to release it, why it can't happen. And now this man has prolonged it for 2, maybe 3 more months, just through procedural garbage, just through saying, hey, we're going in recession now, y'all. Let's go on summer vacation, everybody. See you guys later. Yeah, the Epstein files, they should be released. But you know what? Let's go on vacation. So obviously that's a ploy too, so they can strategize about getting J.D. Vance in power, getting rid of Trump. They need a little bit more time to orchestrate this properly. Sometime the man has to go from, being a old fart, crusty, dusty, pedophile bastard to, even older and crippled and, wearing a mask and coming out and saying, Your Honor, I can't testify. I'm too old. I can't go to jail. I'm too old. I'm immobilized. I'm in my bed. I can't do anything. I only have a week left. You can't take me through a trial. The trial will kill me. Basically, it sounds like that. I mean, if you ask me, I'm telling you, this man is never going to face justice because of these things that are going on, like MAGA Mike Johnson is doing. That's all they're going to do. Try to drag it out another year. Can you believe they would want to drag this out another year? Even 3 months. If they're willing to drag it out in 3 months just for vacation, imagine all the other shit they could do to drag shit out. They definitely dragging it out for some reason, but this man ain't going to make 4 years. It won't make 4 years of dragging it out. So they got a plan, And unless you got somebody else that wants to run for office and can fix all of this shit in the name of MAGA, you're going to lose big. The Republicans are going to lose big in the midterm elections. Big enough so maybe the Democrats can finally get 2/3 of the House and do something for real. Like Trump tried to do with executive orders. Now we talking about we talking about impeachments of judges. 2/3 of the House we need. We don't need a little less than 2/3, or we need a little less, and we need some Republicans that want their families to have their kids to have health care, their kids to have education, you know, their kids to have equal housing, a fair wage, you know, a job with a fair wage, you know, things like this. That's all you need is a few of them to go along with Democrats, and then you can impeach these corrupt judges. Yes, you could. I mean, you could impeach Trump. That's not a problem. Who the president isn't even the problem, really. It's the president is one problem, and the corrupt judges is another. The judges that make political rulings, like trying to all of a sudden give states back the right to decide who has birthright citizenship. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You cannot do that. There's no way of effectively doing it. Plus, you just went and violated one of the main principles that was established through a bloody civil war, because people didn't have rights. All kinds of people, not just African Americans, all kinds of people were walking around in a country working with no rights, working for somebody else who owns land, working for somebody else who owns land and can vote. These people were kept from voting through that. Yeah, all kinds of people. Because of the structure, all kinds of people, not just Hispanic, not just African Americans, some white folk too. A lot of white folk they couldn't just all of a sudden, because there was no law. Anyway, let's continue.
What he did is he gave him a lifeline that this isn't going to go on, and they're not going to talk about this all the way till September 2nd when they return. And so it's not now in front of him as it would be tomorrow or Friday or Saturday, because eventually there's nothing else to talk about. House can't do anything. What I would have done, I was speaking with Joe Walsh on my Substack. We do a live on Wednesdays. You know what they could have done? They could have actually stayed in the House. All you need is one member, and they can't close it. And then stay for 4 hours. Let another member come in 4 hours, and then 4 hours. And find a Republican. Find one Republican, 2 Republicans, 4, 10, because we know which Republicans, especially the MAGA ones, don't want to see this go away. They want to see the file. So what they could have done, get them and then bring it to a vote themselves. Instead, they just lose these opportunities again and again. And again, the Democratic leadership really needs to step it up.
Well, they're going to have opportunities because...
Well, you know, it's interesting that he says that, because I see people... criticizing the Democrats more than the Republicans. And I'm not talking about Michael Cohen. I just mean in general. It's like no matter what Democrats do. For example, Cory Booker did this 24-hour thing, you know, filibuster. And people were dissing him for doing a filibuster. And this is essentially what he's talking about, a similar type of thing, you know, a procedural thing to try to get a vote. But there's no guarantee that anyone would do that. Not in the environment. You know, you got to remember, the subcommittee is not the same as the House, you see. But, I mean, I'm all for do everything you can do. But I just think to blame that, to say Democrats need to step up. No, let me tell you something. Americans, regardless of being Democratic or not, independent or not, Republican or not, it's your nation. It's your tax dollars. You're the ones being played for a fool. You're the ones that need to do something about it, not just Democrats. Remember, Michael Cohen worked for this asshole and got paid to do all kinds of stuff. Who are you talking to, man? Where did your stand up come along? At a convenient, when it was convenient, when you realized you're going to go to jail? Is that when you decided to stand up? Is that when you decided to do something about it? You know, what happened to the politicians back then that needed your help? What happened to the American people back then that needed your help? You know, so I don't buy this kind of self-righteousness, because that damn sure wasn't me getting paid by Trump to do all kinds of dastardly things. You see what I mean? I think that's a bullshit excuse for real.
I mean, you know, yes, their colleagues will come back in September, but we now know that Maxwell's going to be subpoenaed or deposed in August. There are all these other fronts.
And what do you think she's going to do? You think that she's going to be able to speak? I say she won't be able to.
If I were her, I would only speak if I got something out of it. So.
Well, I agree, but
Facts.
I don't believe that she's going to be able to speak.
I'm not saying Michael Cohen, I disagree with him on everything. It's just that aspect of it. You know, it's like everybody needs to do something, and always playing into this Democrat or Republican thing, like that's the only way things can work. That's the only way you can identify folks. No, these are Americans. Americans, representatives in the House, the people that receive the taxpayer dollars, they need to do something across the board. And you don't start at the top of the people that's been doing something, been saying something. You don't start there. You see what I mean? Like, I don't get this. And also on top of that, a lot of these lawyers, keep this in mind. He wasn't, you could go back, all the experts, all the legal experts, including him, you could go back 4 years ago, right? And listen to what they were saying was going to happen to Trump. And then listen how it didn't happen. Because corruption came into it. That privatized aspect came into it. That money thing slipped into the picture and made what you were arguing is supposed to happen, will happen, should happen, not happen. So I don't think I don't think anybody knows. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows. If all these experts knew, we wouldn't be going through this shit. You see? So I just think sometimes these folks are a little overrated. I think they're a little overrated. I think they present an America that doesn't really exist. It's not that just. It's not that just. And I think the people that it's not that just for need to have their own voices. Need to have their own voices, because Michael Cohen, rightly enough, he's speaking up for his perspective, but it's his perspective, not yours. He's sitting in a different seat when he goes home and sleeps. He's laying in a different bed than the average American. You see what I'm saying? He's covered. You're not. But in any case,
She has an appeal going on right now. And so her lawyers, and I know that they're very good, should probably turn around and say to her, just take the fifth on everything. You have an active case going on. In fact, it's actually improper that they're subpoenaing her, because they're putting her in a position to harm herself.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with Michael Cohen on that. And, I think most experts, not that I'm an expert, right? Because I'm not an expert, but I think most folks do agree with that sentiment. And, people, that have some sanity in their mind, folks that are sane are looking at that approach and pretty much recognizing that it's irregular. What's going on? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, you're going to interview Pam Bondi. Okay, great. You're going to interview Pam Bondi. And then what? What you going to do after that? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like they really give a damn. And let me see here. Which one is this? Yeah. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like any of the things that they're doing are designed to actually get stuff done for the American people. It's all just distractions. So
time now, and sources tell ABC News the Department of Justice is expected to meet with Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell today. It comes as the Wall Street Journal reports Attorney General Pam Bondi informed President Trump in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files. ABC's Perry Russell.
And they have already met with her. That was last night. That just happened yesterday. This is the morning. Folks are just waking up in the U.S. So in the U.S., that was yesterday. Over here in the EU, that was today. We got this news in the middle of the night. You see what I mean? While we were, some of us were awake, but now the time went on, and yeah.
Is in Washington.
Do you have anything to say today?
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today walking into the U.S. Attorney's office in Tallahassee, Florida, where sources tell ABC News he's expected to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's conspirator. Blanche is President Trump's former criminal defense attorney and says he wants to know if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims.
Wow, that's kind of late. Isn't that kind of... So they only want to know now if she knows something. Only now that people are demanding the Epstein files go out. Now you want to go back to her. She's been sitting in jail the whole time. What happened to day one? Now, notice how Trump keeps flipping. At first, he always says she's a nice person. I wish her the best, right? He didn't even do anything to her. He didn't even do anything to her, right? But he stayed at a distance, didn't make any remarks, only when it suited him, He makes ambiguous remarks. He doesn't really let you know where he stands or thinks about anything. Does he think she's rotten and did these things, or does he think she's a good person and could never do it? He's never come out before and said she's a good person and she could never do it. No. He never said that. But now he wants everybody else to believe that, yeah, this is a cover-up. This is a scam. Let's go talk to her. She's going to prove it was a scam the whole time, even though she's already gone through a trial and been convicted. Why didn't she bring this shit up before? It should. See, why don't they just release the files? You can see where this is going. They're going to try to say that, oh, well, it is in those grand jury testimonies. It's just that it was in there. If you would just release those, even though they know the judge is not going to do that, because you will undermine the whole damn American system if you do that. How many people are you going to say can do that? Just release the grand jury files. On everyone you convict? No, but they want it to be a special occasion, just like the Bill Cosby thing. You saw how that turned out. He got out of jail. Why? Because they released it. They weren't supposed to do that. So anything that comes of this, basically similar, you're breaking the law to what? Here's some new information from her. You're going to break the law. As soon as you break the law, she's going to say, aha, I told you so. They broke the law. I told you so. This is where this stuff is at.
Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. She was sentenced 3 years ago and has been trying to get out on appeal ever since. Her attorney today.
We're looking forward to a productive day.
The Wall Street Journal reports Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi informed President Trump back in May his name appears multiple.
The only thing she's going to get is a pardon. If I'm wrong, I'm just wrong about it. I'll be up here on YouTube and everybody's going to be like, yo, you was wrong. You was wrong. I know. Okay, no problem. I don't have a problem being wrong about this. This is so horrific. I hope I am wrong. I hope she doesn't get a pardon. I hope she stays her ass in jail, and I hope they release the Epstein files. But I don't believe these people plan on releasing the Epstein files, and they are going to get Trump. They're going to find a way to where Trump he can't be prosecuted anyway, basically. He can't be. But they're going to find a way to protect whoever else's money, whoever else they want to protect before they release these files. I mean, at least MAGA Mike Johnson, when he said the White House needs a little time, it sounds like that's what he means, that they need a little time to protect themselves.
Times in the Epstein files. ABC's Catherine Falders asking Trump last week if Bondi told him his name was in the file.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
And look at Caroline there. Look at her, just like a robot. Just look at. Let me make this damn thing bigger. This is ridiculous. She's just like a robot, standing there. My goodness, man.
She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
ABC's Mary Bruce pressing again the next day.
Is your name in files
files, Mr. President? Is that why they aren't being fully released?
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you.
Bondi says nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, adding, as part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
This is crazy.
Time now, and sources tell ABC News the Department of Justice is expected to meet with Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell today. It comes as the Wall Street Journal reports Attorney General Pam Bondi informed President Trump in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington.
Do you have anything to say today?
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today walking into the U.S. Attorney's office in Tallahassee, Florida, where sources tell ABC News he's expected to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's conspirator. Blanche is President Trump's former criminal defense attorney and says he wants to know if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls.
You know, why does he want to know only what she thinks? Why doesn't he want to look in the Epstein files? You see, that's what's crazy. That's what doesn't make any sense. Has he seen the Epstein files? You know, that would be how you would want to know. But no, he just wants to have her say something, you know, which is pretty much the only direction she's going is cover up. She needs to get her ass out of jail. She's never going to say she was involved in anything harmful. It's not in her interest to say that, to condemn herself, to say that, yeah, I really am an ugly monster. I'm a greedy son of a, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm helping a trafficker traffic girls. I'm luring them. I'm a disgusting slime ball. I'm a scumbag like that. I don't care about people. I care about money and being an elitist. She's never going to say that. But the Epstein files can tell you. You see, you don't need someone to testify necessarily anymore to know. There's already been loads of testimony. What is it going to be? Her word against all these people? You know, how does that work? She's got one word. She's one person out of loads of evidence. She's already convicted. And you want to talk to her because she's convicted? That's like saying, why don't we go talk to El Chapo now? Let's hear. El Chapo, do you think the government treated you fairly in your prosecution? I mean, you seem like a nice guy. Yeah, they got me all wrong. I'm a very nice guy. I have a good heart. You know, I have a good heart, you know. I would never do the things they they make it seem like something that it never was. Basically, go to Jeffrey Dahmer. I have a good heart. No, I'm not a mean person. I just, you know, they found all this stuff in my refrigerator. You know, some dude's head, another guy's penis, another dude's fingers, you know. Put in, you know, ketchup and, you know, mayonnaise, all this shit, and made a sandwich. They found a peanut butter. They found a finger sandwich, a brain sandwich, a human brain sandwich in my refrigerator. But they make it look like I'm a bad guy. Just the people that know me know I'm not like that. This is so ridiculous.
To be sexually abused by Epstein.
It's so ridiculous.
She was sentenced 3 years ago and has been trying to get out on appeal ever since. Her attorney today.
We're looking forward to a productive day.
The Wall Street Journal reports Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi informed President Trump back in May.
He should just say, hey, Trump, we just want a goddamn pardon, okay?
His name appears multiple times in the Epstein files. ABC's Catherine Falders asking Trump last week if Bondi told him his name was in the file.
Did she tell you at all that?
All right, look at her face. Look at Caroline's face here. Let me just blow this up. I got to see this one exchange for what it is. This one just really irks me. Yo, it really irks me. Can I get it more blown up? 2 seconds, yo. Let me see something here. I want everybody to just follow her. Look at her silly ass face. She's been out there arguing for all these people this whole time, you know. Let's go.
Your name appeared in the file.
She's given us just a very quick briefing.
In the file.
She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've...
in the files.
She's given us
Look
just
at
a very.
that. You see that? Look at that. Y'all see that? I mean, she knows this dude is just flat out lying, and she's standing up there. She's standing up there with a dude that's basically willing to do anything. He's definitely willing to lie. I mean, that's for damn sure. And you know, she knows that. But this is not just lying. This is, oh my God, look, here it is. Look at her eyes. This is not just lying. This is lying about little girl trafficking, sex slaves. That's what the context is. And she's standing next to this dude that has been all implicated, not just implicated, has witness testimony, witnesses who've done depositions saying that he was a part of it. He did this to me. Multiple. One witness committed suicide, you know, because she had to wait decades. Get the faces of the people behind it. She's one of the people standing there still. She had the nerve to wear crosses outside. You know, she'd be wearing crosses, going out to the public wearing a cross. Listen, you MAGA people, I would never take that job she has defending this dude. She took it. She took that job. I mean, can it be any worse? This is she an immigrant doing this to you? Right? You know, is she a bad immigrant? You know? No. She's an American citizen who claims to be more American than many. Claims to be a good American. And this is what she's doing. This is what she's playing a part of. Trust me, nothing goes down in America without Americans doing it first and mostly. If there's heroin in the United States, it's because Americans want heroin there. If there's what is this, fentanyl, it's because Americans are bringing it. Right? If there's sex trafficking, if there's human trafficking, it's because Americans are involved primarily from the top places, orchestrating it, getting payoffs for it, deciding who being the king master, appointing who the king cartel, what cartel is going to be the big one this year. Now that I'm the president, I'll take some handouts and then act like I'm fighting crime. They can give me some tips. Same thing here with the sex trafficking. You see? So, but in any case, just look at her face. Just look at this. This is just disgusting.
She's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of...
In return, look at that. Blink. Yeah, you caught out there. You are caught out there. Scum of the earth. Caught out there, faking it. Not talking about, you know, somebody stole a Twinkie from the damn 7-Eleven and Caroline gonna go out there and lie. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sex trafficking of minors. And she gonna go out there and cover up and pretend and then talk to you. Tomorrow she's gonna come out and talk down to the American people too. This is the most asinine thing. She's gonna come out there gaslighting everybody. You know, like everybody else is crazy. Nah, lady, you been caught. You busted.
The different things that they've seen.
Where's that smile? Yeah, you caught that little laugh. Did you see that little last smile? That one. Oh, hold on. Let me see. This one. No, damn. Can I? Yeah. Oh, can I catch it? There it is. Oh no, I keep moving. There. Look at that. You see that? She got that smile there, right? Yeah, that's that I've been busted smile. I've been busted and I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to smile. Yeah, you've been busted.
ABC's Mary Bruce pressing again the next day.
Is your name in files, Mr. President? Is that why they aren't being fully released?
Let's go. Thank you.
Bondi says nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, adding, as part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Let's get the hell out of everybody. Let's go. Let's get the hell out of here.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the files?
She's given us just a very quick briefing. and in terms of the credibility of the different things
Look
that
at her
they've
face.
seen.
ABC's Mary Bruce
Yeah.
pressing again the next day.
Is your name in files, Mr. President? Is that why they aren't being fully released?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you.
Bondi says nothing in the file.
Who's the lady saying, let's go, let's go?
Being fully released?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Who's saying let's go?
Thank you.
I mean, just rushing out of there. Let's go. They in a damn panic. Let's go, let's go.
The
No
next
more
day.
questions.
Is your
Look at Trump's face.
name in files?
Hold on. No, let me blow his face up there too. Let me see what this look like. Come on, Trump. Come on, give us something, Trump. Give us that beautiful face that you have, that you show everybody. You know, when you get a airplane. Let us see what you look like, man. Come on.
Mr. President, is that why they aren't being fully released?
Let's go. Let's
Look at that. You see that? Just pass up the question. You are next. Look at Rubio there. Rubio, you protector of pedophiles, essentially. You know, that's what it's looking like anyway. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, or I don't know if that's, you know, it looks like it. It appears to be like that is exactly what they are doing. Why? Because the person implicated is the person that they're standing next to. So they're interested in covering it up, even though they get paid by the American people. Even though they get paid by the American people, he's not. Is he working for the American people right now? Is Rubio working for the American people, or is he working for Donald J. Trumpty Dumpty Bumpty? You know, the one who bumped into little girls every day. You know what I'm saying? On the way home from school, or wherever he could find them, at the ranch, at the golf course. You know, I mean, it looks like they're protecting the guy who runs into little girls here and there.
go. Let's go. Thank you.
Bondi says nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, adding,
So, nothing in the files. So why wouldn't? So that means Ghislaine Maxwell, she didn't tell anybody. She was never interviewed. She was never interviewed by the FBI. You know, they're saying that it's all in that it's only in the deposition, in the court filing, in the court thing. Nothing else to it. They can't find out anything else any other way. She didn't do anything else. There's no evidence. You don't want to back it up with any evidence, any data, any forensic examination. You don't want to back her words up that she's about to spew to the world with any investigative skills, any investigative technology applied. Nothing. Just leave all the evidence alone. I want to hear her say she ain't do it.
as part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings.
Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. In any case, this shit is getting wild. What can I say? Folks are in for a ride. And now, it's not that you're in for a ride because you deserve it, but you're in for a ride because too many of you went along with it for so long. So once you normalize bad behavior, normalize breaking the law, and even something more basic, normalize not just being an ethical person and standing on what's right. Fuck the law. How about stand on what's right? How about principles? Because people threw principles and ethics all out the windows, because principle and ethics aren't really laws, you know. They're things that good people do to make all the other stuff go easier for everybody. Folks threw the ethics and the principles out the window and just said, well, we'll just see if the law can catch him. That's what we'll do. And when you do that too many times, you can't just turn it off overnight. That's what we're watching. So you're going to deal with months and months and months and more of this. Yeah, they could release it. It could be released very quickly because today they have the technology to redact any victim's name, you know, very, very rapidly. You know, they can do it in a reasonable amount of time. It might take a little bit of time, you know, some weeks, but it appears they got no intention of releasing any of it. They're going to delay. And can the Justice Department delay without being brought to court? Yeah. If no one's going to bring them to court, if they get a judge that says, yeah, let me take this up. Let me see. Let me work on this a little bit just like they did the last time for Trump. You know, they had special rulings. I'm not saying it's going to go that way, but this is the same game they're trying to play over files that belong to the American people, that the American people's tax dollars paid for them to collect, you know? So in any case, y'all, I appreciate everybody. I'm going to be back later on today, man. I got a few things to do. I'm going to catch up with y'all. Y'all be good. Click like, subscribe. And stay alive. Stay alive. You know, protect your families. You know, treat your neighbors and your community members with some care. Reach out, try to do some good.
They want more. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day, and every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand